Hello, I'm Simona Constantin. I'm part of the Romanian division of the BIST International Film Festival. I'm not in Portugal, I'm in Bucharest right now. And I'm here on Zoom with Dragoș Turea, the director of the film The Soviet Garden, which is part of the selection of the films at BIST this year. Hello, Dragoș. It's nice to meet you, even
Hello.
like this. I really enjoyed your film, and the perspective that it brought was really new for me. I didn't know about all these things, so thank you very much for it. I'm really sorry, but I have to start with the obvious question. How was it to work on a film like this? Because I know that it took you like 10 years to develop the whole project. What were the milestones? How was it?
It started back in 2009 when I started to investigate, and I didn't know what I am going to find out, and I was searching for this experiment, for this secret experiment, and it lasted 10 years of investigation. I started in 2009 and we finished the movie in 2019. So I was pretty young, and when I started, and I had a small team. We brought some equipment to shoot the whole movie, and it was tough. It was tough to get the access, to make the people speak. It was a forbidden subject, and a lot of people didn't spoke in front of the camera, and most of
So
the
you had to be really persistent, I guess.
Yes, it was tough to get access to the waste facility location, or radioactive waste facility. I mean, I have been writing letters and petitions like for 3 years in a row. But more or less, we've got the story, we've got the subject, and we had this enormous input from a lot of the people that are passed away right now, and most of the protagonists from the movie also passed away in time. We have the story, and we have the real Soviet garden in digital way, and we can pass it to future generations.
Mm-hmm. But in the research phase of the project, were there any previous films of documentations of any kind made on the subject?
There were some, I found some archives. I found a movie called Atom and the Selection, I mean the crop selection. The goal was to, let me introduce a little bit the movie. The goal of the whole experiment was to transform Moldova, our small country, in the Soviet garden for atomic gardening. The goal was, it was the secret plan of the Khrushchev, who the intention was to increase the crop yield by irradiating seeds before planting. So starting from early 60s till 80s, all the seeds were irradiated before planting, and they never succeeded, to increase the yield. Most of the people died, and also the crops were dying, and it was like really awful experiment. And now we have to face the consequences. We have to keep the radioactive waste for 60,000 years, and many more that we cannot evaluate the damage it has been done for a small country like Moldova.
And what is the government or the authorities doing to manage the consequences of this?
You see, Simona, it's a tough subject. Until now, no political party, and there was, even if the communist regime, we have a lot of parties and political regimes coming on, and they never assumed this experiment in Moldova. So it was like somehow vanished in the past.
Yeah.
And, you see, it's a different. I really hope that now, when we have a new president and we have a new, somehow a new movement, political movement, I really hope that it will be somehow documented, this experiment in Moldova. It was like an agricultural Chernobyl in a way, and I
Yeah,
really
that
hope that.
it would be nice that someone takes responsibility over this somehow. But
Yes,
I think it's really good that you made the film because you exposed all these things and you told them, yeah, in a very coherent and creative and very nice way, so that everyone can access the information. And directing wise, how was it for you? How did you develop the concept of the film? And how was the team supporting you?
you see, when I started, I didn't knew what I am searching for. I didn't have the exact script for the things that I will find out in time. So it was really difficult to understand what I am looking for. It wasn't in the beginning. It wasn't like an observational documentary when I am filming a subject and so on. So the first shooting was in 2010. I remember it was a scientist. I made a shooting day. We had a shooting day in a town like for 150 kilometers away from our capital.
Mhm.
And, it was a scientist that made a black bean, transformed a black bean into white bean. You know, and it was amazing that we still had this machine, a machine that was still there, and we shoot the scenes in that machine, radioactive machine, a very dangerous machine, you know, for all of us. And he made this confession. He was the first one. And after I researched it a lot, and we just keep finding other clues, and the story went to slowly, little by little, we find out that this was the Khrushchev plan. And after he went in USA, when he been in USA, I think it was 59, and somehow he find out that the Americans already were using atomic gun back there.
Mhm.
So he chose Moldova to do this experiment. And it was like in blind mode. We were shooting, we were searching, we knew that we have this experiment. And the most important thing was to get the confession as much as we can. So this was my goal, and we just keeping searching and try to find the people that were still alive and to make them speak.
Mhm.
I
Was
have,
there a moment when you said that you're gonna give up, or when you thought that you're gonna give up on the film?
yes, of course. There were a lot of moments when I think it was 2013 and 14 when I just it was this crisis moment when I already have had a lot of material, but it wasn't enough. And after 5 years of work already, the forces and all the doors were closing and closing and closing. And as much as time passes, you know, the doors were, the information became more secret and secret and secret. And this was really tough, and no financial support. So in 2017, when Marian Krishan stepped in, our co-producer and director, with his company, Rova Film, and we've made all this. He stepped in with new forces and new vision, and I already had some of the most important material, and we we just started to develop more the subject, and we shot 2 more years, and we finished the movie like in a co-production between Moldova and Romania, and it was like
How to fund a film in Moldova?
we've got the financial support from our CNC.
From the film center in Moldova.
Yes, it's the National Film Center, Moldovan Film Center, and after we also got the support from Romanian Film Center, and it was also a huge support from Romanian team, and also from our colleagues from Viorel Chisaru and from Alexandru, and also a lot of people, and Cristian Lolev made the soundtrack, and also Vadim Severin made the editing, and many more from Romania, I mean, from the post-production process, and it was a really big team that all the forces made this possible to finish the movie.
Really nice. And where was the film shown until now?
We've started the premiere. We had the world premiere at Sarajevo Film Festival in the documentary competition. And after the film, even in this crisis, the film traveled a lot, and we had also, we've got prizes here in Moldova. We got awards from the best movie and the best screenplay, and also the best music and original music. We also had some awards at special mentions in Uranium Film Festival. It's a more specific one, and we've traveled a lot, and also the film it gathers a lot of interest for this subject that is very unique, and no one knew about this experiment. And
yeah, it's quite new. And since we don't have like a live Q&A with the whole audience in front of us, I wanted to ask you, what was the most interesting question you ever got in a Q&A?
Usually the Q&A lasts for hours. Even after the movie finishes, and the movie, it's 1 hour and 16 minutes, and the Q&A can take 1 hour and a half, and so on. So usually it's the questions are very difficult, and very difficult to answer also. Then we have a lot of technical questions. What are the difference between GMO modification, I mean, like difficult questions, but a lot of questions are dealing with refer to the risks that we've been through and we've taken, and
what are the risks that you have been through, you and the team?
Yeah, there is we've absorbed a lot of radioactive doses, you know. When we've been to the radioactive waste facility, we have absorbed, like, for the dose for 10 years ahead, I don't know, a lot of and was very dangerous, you know, and I am still glowing in the dark nights when we turn off the lights also. But you know, we for us was, for me personally, was very important to gather this material. Even it wasn't, you know, it was a technical material. It's a lot of information, but
yeah. What were the reactions in Moldova? I mean, did people somehow gather around the film and wanted to do something?
Yes, of course. We gathered a lot of interest we've got from our local public, and we had for a documentary, we've been into cinemas for several weeks, and we had a full house, and it was sold out some in a few days. And
I was rather wondering in activistic terms if people wanted to step up to, I don't know, write official letters, do any kind of public manifestation, or
yeah, we had some a lot of feedbacks, and we had a lot of reviews for this movie and for this aspect. I mean, these secret experiments in Moldova, and I think that now we can push more to get this feedback, this political feedback. I mean, because we have some changes, and the political movement, the political things are moving, in a more democratic way that was before, and I think that we will have feedback. I hope, at least.
With this film, do you consider yourself to be an activist?
Not really. It wasn't scandalous movie or so. It was we've let the people speak, the scientists speak. My duty was to capture these
perspectives, yeah,
these perspectives and these confessions of the scientists. And through my eyes, how somehow I just caught the moment, like the last shine of the star, because after they passed away, and we can't get any more information regarding this subject. So it was like a last shine of the star,
Yeah, no, I think it's super important that you did it, and the moment in which you did it was, yeah, I mean, if it was in 10 years from now, maybe the situation would have been completely different. I guess there were less people.
Even now we can't get any more information. Even now we have only the waste, and we have this waste, and most of the people died, and this radioactive isotopes, we have to pass it from one generation to another, and it's a difficult thing to do for Moldova. It's a poor country, and it doesn't have so many resources to deal with this treasure left from the communist ideas, and
Yeah. You as a filmmaker, what are you working on right now, or what were your projects after making this film?
We are developing a project also dealing with our Soviet past, and somehow related to the Soviet ideas of changing the world.
How is the project called, and what's the production stage in which you are in?
We're still developing the subject, and maybe it's too early to speak about. But we have a strong subject that is starting in USSR, and we also have the strong ingredient from our days.
Yeah, well, good luck with it, and I hope we're gonna be able to watch it at the festival the upcoming years.
Thank you. Let's hope that the things will change, and we will finally get the opportunity to travel and to pitch and to work and to co-produce, and let's hope that
somehow get back to the old way of doing things in filmmaking.
It's difficult to accept when the things will get back to normal like it was, but I think that we can adapt to realities.
Was there in the film, in the project of the Soviet Garden, a scene or a part that you really couldn't put in the edit, but it was very dear to you and very, very important?
We had a lot of scenes that for me was somehow important, and like to show, it was important to show how this poor scientists were forced to play the God role, you know. They were forced to find the proper doses, radioactive doses for every culture, you know.
Yeah.
They were trying to explain me how this was difficult, you know, to do it in early 60s. You need to irradiate a seed, and you have to plant it, and you have to make the seed grow, and you have to make the seed grow 30% more bigger than a normal seed. And they were doing this for like tens of years, you know, in a row. They had only one chance to plant the seed and to see if the seed will grow.
Yeah, yeah.
And this was like really, you know, for me it was very strange, and it's like a bad trip, you know, to deal your whole life with this idea of a big political actor that will say you have to grow the seeds 30%, you know, the crops, and you have the machineries and you have all this financial and technical support, but you have to make the plants grow like we need them to grow. And
yeah, it's a whole system that was completely different. I don't know, it's very hard for me to imagine living a life like that, but yeah,
but the things were that the thing is that it was known that the radiation kills living beings. No, it was clear enough even in the beginning. It is dangerous things to deal with, and it will never grow the seeds. Maybe, you know, like a spontaneous mutation, or somehow it will one crop from 1,000 will grow bigger. Let's hope, but never, you know, the whole
country.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were trying to explain me, you know, that it was you know, how they try to achieve this you know, this order, to this goal, and they never succeeded, more or less. And the system changed, you know, the people. The system was like, in a way, if you can't grow the seeds, we will change the people. The system never accepted that an experiment can fail. The system never accepted that it was a pseudoscience. It's not a proven science that, you know. So all the responsibility will take the people that manipulate, these poor scientists that were manipulated with these machines. And their whole life was, you know, dedicated to this.
So this somehow unachievable aspirations, let's say.
Somehow, yeah. And it's a difficult thing to understand, even if you watch the movie one time, the film. And for me, even after 10 years of research, it was difficult to understand everything that happened. And now it's more, we need more time maybe to assimilate the thing.
Yeah, to reflect on it and to get extra resources. And
yeah.
These were my questions for now. And I would just like to add that if someone watching us has observations or questions or anything, they can write them to us and we'll try to get back to you. Is there anything that you, Dragoș, would like to add?
Enjoy the film, and you can get in touch with me if you will have more questions, and anything related to the subject, I will gladly answer to all of the questions.
Super. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.